I'm at Computex, one of the largest computing conventions in the world. I'll be showing off some of the coolest tech on display this year.
North Korea says engine and fuel system trouble caused a failed attempt to launch a spy satellite in orbit. President Tsai selects 4 more judges to sit on the country's highest court. Now, all 15 of them have been nominated by her. Plus, we see how the government is tackling Taiwan's student debt issue. Warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Leslie Liao. Asia's largest computer expo is underway in Taipei. This year, by far, the main talking point has been artificial intelligence. But there's been a host of other tech developments since the last fully in-person expo in 2019. Sam Robbins takes a look.
After a gap of 4 years because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Asia's largest computing expo is back in business. Over 3 days, Computex will see over 1,000 manufacturers showcasing their tech at more than 3,000 booths in Taipei. And after almost half a decade hiatus, there's a lot to get through.
At this year's Computex, everything from gaming to education to healthcare and audio is on display. Each booth here is showing off the latest developments in software and hardware or firmware. And with artificial intelligence on the top of the agenda, so many industries are being transformed. But it's not just AI that's on display here.
Bluetooth is unveiling Auracast, a new audio feature. They say it can turn any device into a broadcasting station and allow the connection of multiple wireless headphones. The company are confident that this will have broad appeal, but its origins are a little more specialized.
It actually came about because the hearing industry came to the Bluetooth Special Interest Group looking to solve the assistive listening challenge. So they came to us to, one, standardize hearing aids, and two, create a assistive listening system using Bluetooth technology.
Another feature this year is the metaverse and immersive gaming experiences. Many new tools are working to bring players into the game through virtual reality technology. These same tools are also transforming the way people work. Augmented reality lets warehouse workers quickly learn about storage spaces, or give surgeons greater control of their instruments. In the not-so-distant future, VR could even make its way into convenience stores.
你想象便利商店以前不是有休息区吗？那我们现在 create 一个空间，你什么设备都不用带，你只要带你的手机进去，那里面可以上网，然后可以用 VR 设备，甚至你可以直播、唱歌、办公都可以。
Another trend? Accommodating people who work remotely, something millions were forced to do during the pandemic. The increase in remote work has led to a boom in VR, allowing some workers to do their jobs almost anywhere. And now that Computex is back, companies making VR goods are more eager than ever to show off their devices to the public. Devin Tsai and Sam Robbins for TaiwanPlus.
Wednesday's keynote speaker at Computex was Rafael Sotomayor, a vice president of Dutch chipmaker NXP. He stressed that industry collaboration is just as important as tech breakthroughs. Joyce Sung has more.
It's day 2 of Asia's largest tech expo, and while exhibitors from around the world are showing off the latest in high-tech goods and products, there are also discussions on how this technology could go on to change our lives. Rafael Sotomayor, an executive at Dutch chipmaker NXP, was giving Wednesday's keynote speech. He forecasted so-called interoperability as the future of smart living. That means more connectivity between new combinations of different devices. One example Sotomayor gave was what he called the autonomous home. Consumers in this scenario would not only be freed from using multiple apps to control different devices, but their homes would basically be able to predict their owners' needs before they do.
We need to give our home situational awareness so they're able to identify our intent, react, anticipate our actions.
A key part of his vision is businesses working together across ecosystems. The tech industry currently has some of the world's most complex supply chains. Innovators, manufacturers, and other skilled experts across companies and countries are needed to bring ideas to life. Taiwan, according to Sotomayor, is a crucial juncture in this network. Behind emerging tech like AI are chips, and when most people think of chips, they think of Taiwan. The country dominates in the field of semiconductor production, but beyond chips, Taiwan's historical strengths in high tech means it could play a key part in helping build a smart world.
Taiwan is a great place to talk about ecosystems. It's a place where manufacturing, technologies, products, they all come together to invent the future.
Ecosystems depend on high levels of collaboration, which requires trust. But this could run into a number of obstacles in the future. Multiple governments have introduced new rules aiming to ramp up production of the all-powerful chip within their own borders and to cut out their rivals out of the market. Such geopolitical tensions are one of a number of things Sotomayor calls unforeseen complexities, which tech companies must factor into future business plans.
Pandemics, dislocation in supply, regulations, IP restrictions. Picking a partner that helps you navigate, who gives you the best chance to navigate through these unforeseen events, is critical.
As tech firms brace for potential global supply disruptions, Sotomayor says finding the right talent and know-how are the most irreplaceable resources. People are still the main drivers of tech innovation, and he says it'll be up to teamwork and human judgment to enable not only a smart future, but a safe one. Eason Chen and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Typhoon Mawar is off Taiwan's east coast, bringing heavy rain and rough seas. As John Van Trieste reports, the storm won't make landfall, but officials are still being cautious.
The first typhoon of the season is here. Typhoon Mawar is now off Taiwan's east coast. The storm won't hit the country's main island directly, and it's been weakening. But weather conditions caused by the typhoon have already taken 2 lives, both children who were swept out to sea by high waves. Now, officials aren't taking any chances. Late on Tuesday, the eastern county of Hualien closed off mountain roads that can be dangerous in stormy weather. And on Wednesday, schools were closed on Green Island and Lanyu, islands closer to the storm. Forecasters expect heavy rain and strong winds throughout the country as Mawar passes and moves north towards Japan.
台湾的西侧，因为地形效应的影响，有一些深红色的区块。
Until the storm passes, weather officials are urging people to stay away from the coast to keep the typhoon's death toll from climbing any further. John Su and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan says its 4th wave of COVID-19 infections should peak by early July. Right now, health officials estimate more than 20,000 people a day are catching the virus, and up to 1 in 5 of them are people who have had it before. Officials say reinfections are relatively common with the dominant XBB subvariant. Cases of flu in Taiwan have also risen. 7 people died from the illness last week. Tuvalu's Foreign Minister Simon Kofe has arrived in Taiwan. The Pacific Island nation is one of Taiwan's 13 remaining diplomatic allies. Kofe is visiting for 6 days, during which he will meet with President Tsai Ing-wen and Foreign Minister Joseph Wu. He will also witness the signing of 3 agreements on training diplomats, technical exchanges, and legal assistance. North Korea says an unstable engine and fuel system are to blame for the failure to launch its first spy satellite. The rocket carrying the satellite came crashing down into the waters off the Korean peninsula on Wednesday. But the country has vowed to attempt a new launch soon. Once again, John Van Trieste has this story.
From Seoul in South Korea to Okinawa Prefecture in Japan, emergency broadcasts blared early on Wednesday, warning of a new North Korean launch. But this time, it was not because of a missile. North Korea had attempted to put its first spy satellite into space. The country had earlier said it would launch the satellite by June 11th. Analysts say the country is determined to have an eye in the sky.
미국을 자신들도 들여다볼 수 있다. 또 미국을 정밀하게 타격할 수 있다라는 그 능력을 최대한 대미 억제력 차원에서 보여줘야 되기 때문에 군정찰 위성은 그런 측면에서 대미 억제력의 한 구성 요소라 이렇게 볼 수 있습니다.
The rocket carrying the satellite crashed into the sea to the west of the Korean peninsula. North Korean state media say trouble with the engine and fuel systems were the reason why. In response, Japan has issued a diplomatic protest, saying the launch violated UN Security Council resolutions.
一連の北朝鮮の行動は、我が国、地域及び国際社会の平和と安全を脅かすものです。
Meanwhile, South Korea has recovered debris from the failed launch and says it's ready for North Korea to try again.
우리 군은 북의 추가 우주 발사체 발사 등 도발에 대비하여 만반의 대비 태세를 갖추고 있습니다.
Which is what North Korea has vowed to do, adding even more stress to the already tense region. James Lin and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
New footage shows a Chinese fighter jet coming dangerously close to a U.S. warplane in international airspace. The incident happened on May 26th. The footage shows a U.S. radar plane flying in the South China Sea when it was intercepted by a Chinese fighter jet. This is not the first time an incident like this was captured on camera. Late last December, a Chinese jet conducted a similar maneuver near a U.S. military aircraft. The Pentagon released a statement urging other countries to follow international law and observe safe flying practices. Taiwan's top weapons maker has completed development of virtual battle simulators that it says will help the military train its soldiers. Hameo Khan has this one.
These battle simulation pods are the newest addition to Taiwan's military training programs. The country's top weapons maker, the Dongsan Institute, says it's developed 240 of these simulators and other training equipment to boost the combat readiness of its soldiers.
希望能够从现在提供的战技战斗训练，向上提升到战术层级的训练。那目标包括整合了异地异质的模拟系统，透过联网的整合，建构一个虚拟战场，提供多兵科的协同训练。
Taiwan is bolstering its defenses in the event of an invasion from China, which sees the island nation as part of its territory. And these simulators are one way that Taiwan is working to make its troops more prepared. This simulator trains soldiers on how to operate one of the country's most advanced armored vehicles, the Clouded Leopard. It's used to support troops on the ground, and it's one of the most common vehicles used by the army. Another simulator helps familiarize soldiers with different shooting angles before they start live-fire training on a real course. Defense officials say that this type of training will help in defending against an attack from China. Taiwan recently completed 1 week of tabletop war games with U.S. defense officials overseeing the simulation. The military here says the results show that training will be valuable to Taiwan's defense.
台美共同观察之后，也都认为在防卫军在联战任务行动要项，还有年度的一个训练目标，在这一次演训之中，我们都可以达成这样子的一个训练的一个任务。
China spends more than 17 times more on defense than Taiwan does, and has the world's largest navy. President Xi Jinping has instructed his country's military to be ready for a possible conflict with Taiwan by the year 2027. And so as Taiwan gears up for its largest ever live-fire exercises in July, the military here says it's making sure its soldiers are well prepared with a little help from technology. Howard Zhang and Hameo Khan for TaiwanPlus.
Basketball star Dwight Howard has left Taiwan after the end of the local season. Fans mobbed Howard as he arrived at Taoyuan Airport to see him off on Tuesday night. The former NBA star came to Taiwan last November to play for the Taoyuan Leopards. He played 20 games and was the T1 League's rebound leader for the season. He was also named the league's All-Star Game MVP. Howard says he's not sure if he'll come back for the next season, but he's enjoyed his time in Taiwan immensely.
It's a very special moment to be loved here in Taiwan. So thank you to all the fans for an amazing year. It's one that's I'll never forget this place. I'll never forget the amazing time that I had here with all the fans and all the people here. So thank you guys so much.
Coming up, a Taiwanese opera star finally gets her own documentary. Stay tuned.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the TaiwanPlus app and follow us on social media.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. All members of a constitutional court picked by one president? To many, this probably doesn't sound very democratic, but it's now the case in Taiwan. And as Bing Wang reports, the country's constitution had made this possible.
These 4 people have just been nominated by President Tsai Ing-wen to Taiwan's Constitutional Court, the highest judicial body in the country. They're meant to replace the 4 judges who have come to the end of the 8-year term, the last remaining justices appointed by Tsai's predecessor, Ma Ying-jeou. If all 4 nominees are confirmed by the legislature, then all 15 justices would have been nominated by President Tsai. Former President Ma Ying-jeou, a member of the Kuomintang or KMT, also had a court entirely nominated by him, because his predecessor's nominations were blocked by an opposition-held legislature, which was then the KMT. So when Ma was sworn in, he filled the gaps in the court. Despite this, the KMT are now criticizing the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP, on his nominations.
蔡总统这样子用人唯亲，的确是中华民国司法的悲哀。
The DPP responded saying it's just a coincidence that Tsai got to nominate a whole court.
他必然的，会跟大法官他的这个届期这8年是重复的，所以这个我外面有一些是误解
Law experts maintain this is constitutional.
If there is a single party won the election for the president as well as for the legislative yuan, then that means the people in this country give a lot of power to that single party.
But scholars say this will not result in a loss of checks and balances. And the next president, if re-elected for a second 4-year term, will also get the chance to nominate an entire court. The only way this would change is if a president only serves a single term. The confirmation hearing for the 4 nominees begins in 2 weeks, and as Tsai Ing-wen's 2-term presidency draws to a close, she could see a court filled with judges appointed by her. Liang Lian and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
The Ministry of Education has announced a new subsidy plan to help relieve student debt. The post-epidemic student loan subsidy program will start in July and is aimed at helping 75% of people with outstanding loans. The ministry estimates almost 730,000 people in Taiwan currently have student debt. Graduates qualify if, as of 2022, they have a monthly income of less than $1,300, have a child under 12, or are expecting a child. The plan will subsidize 1 year of loan payments and interest for those eligible. The ministry also announced multiple instances where current and prospective students could also forego payments for 1 semester's tuition. For more on the impact of this plan, our reporter Eric Tsai spoke to Ray Yang from Taiwan's Alliance for the Advancement of Youth Rights and Welfare.
What are the factors contributing to Taiwan's student debt issue?
主要会有2个因素。第一个，台湾家庭投入教育的成本过高，台湾个人及家庭投入教育的成本比政府投入的教育成本还要多。第2个原因其实就是台湾长年以来的问题，就是升学主义至上，许多就读私立大学的学生都需要仰赖学贷，并且半工半读，导致学习成效不佳，以至于他们毕业之后只能从事所谓的低薪工作，陷入所谓的负向的债务循环。
How big is the student debt issue in Taiwan?
根据人力银行的统计资料显示，39岁以下有高达60%的青年有债务问题，其中造成负债的主因又以学贷占了近半数，可见青年贫穷的问题依然非常的严重。而且台湾有近8万人因为还不出学贷，遭到银行进行强制执行。
What are some other changes that may help with the student debt issues?
我们能够参考美国总统 Joe Biden 的学贷特赦，让毕业3年后月收入未满4万元，且交户所得在一定标准以下的人，给予一定比例的本金减免。
That was Ray Yang from Taiwan's Alliance for the Advancement of Youth Rights and Welfare speaking with TaiwanPlus reporter Eric Tsai. Gun-related crimes in Taiwan have jumped in recent weeks, and New Taipei in the country's north has become a hotspot. The city's mayor is running for president, and he's been accused of failing to keep residents safe. Once again, Bing Wong has more.
Police tackle a man to the ground. They suspect he's running an underground gun factory. Taiwan has seen a jump in gun-related charges, with many of the cases taking place in New Taipei, the largest and most populous city in Taiwan. A total of 6 cases involving guns have happened in New Taipei in the last 6 weeks. 86 gunshots were fired in that same period. The ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or DPP, has slammed the city's mayor, Hou Yi, who is running for president for the opposition Kuomintang, or KMT. They say Hou has failed to keep his city safe.
从4月开始，整个新北市就是枪林弹雨，治安不好，市民怎么安心呢？今天新北市的治安会崩坏至此，不是基层员警的错，而是侯友宜只会嘴巴说呵呵做代志。
Hou has responded to the criticism.
其实犯罪绝对不是在单一个地区，不管是在任何刑案的发生，都有赖我们必须要在源头管理，清本溯源。
Taiwan's police commissioner says overall, shootings are down this year compared to the same period in 2022.
去年的一个数据枪击案件跟进的数据的比较是有下降的新北这段时间比较密集一点，不过新北市警察局同仁也很认真，都尽速来侦破。
With elections coming up, the people running for Taiwan's top job are attacking their opponents' records, trying to siphon away votes. Hou will have to hope the recent gun cases in New Taipei won't affect his chances at the polls. Klein Wong and Bing Wong for TaiwanPlus.
If you leak personal data, then you have to pay the fines. That's the message Taiwan's digital ministry is sending after it punished multiple companies for not adequately protecting customer data. Companies investigated by the ministry included major book retailer Elite and Singaporean e-commerce platform Shopee. Companies were fined up to $6,500 for their lack of proper data security. It was the first time fines had been handed out to private businesses for data breaches since the ministry was established in August last year. A hiker has died on Taiwan's highest mountain after being hit by falling rocks. The man in his 60s fell unconscious after rocks struck his head on Jade Mountain in central Taiwan on Monday. Rescuers rushed him to the hospital, but he could not be revived. The man is the 4th person to die in an accident in the area within a month. Taiwan has been cracking down on drivers who do not yield to pedestrians, and now the campaign has reached a literal high point. Police have been out on Taiwan's highest highway as part of the nationwide push to get drivers to stop for pedestrians crossing the road. The stretch of road in Hehuanshan National Forest area is well over 3,000 meters above sea level. Taiwan has raised fines for drivers who fail to yield at crosswalks to about $120. Many people in Taiwan complain it can be dangerous to cross the road, and drivers are rarely fined for breaking this rule. The nationwide campaign to change this bad driving behavior kicked off in May, and the police patrolling this highway have already nabbed a few impatient drivers.
本分局5月份至今于该路段已告发未让行人记事件。本分局呼吁用路人行经路口及行人穿越道务必停让行人优先穿越。
Taiwanese opera star Yang Li-hua will be getting her own documentary. The story is based on 60 years of her dedication to traditional Taiwanese opera. Sandichis has more.
A voice that will be familiar for many who watched popular Taiwanese opera dramas of the 1970s. This is Yang Li-hua, a Taiwanese opera star who is widely regarded as a national treasure. Yang dedicated most of her life to this traditional storytelling art form, but now her own story is finally being told in a documentary which will focus on her life and career. Yang felt nervous and unwell at a press conference announcing the film on Tuesday. Her apprentice Chen Yalan helped to record her speech.
歌仔戏是我的生命，传承歌仔戏嘛是我一世人的愿望。希望这支纪录片会当互咱子孙仔更较了解咱台湾上水的。
The 78-year-old began performing at the age of 6. She is one of the first and women performers to master male roles and has established a fan base that traverses generations and borders.
其实，若无歌仔戏，就无杨丽花。我上欢喜的，就是会当为台湾这块土地贡献我会晓，嘛将咱老祖先忠孝节义的智慧传承落去。
Yang is already retired, but her passion for Taiwanese opera will be documented in the film with never-before-seen footage.
纪录片当然要制作的这一部呢，不是那么简单。策划要推出，一定有目共睹，做的一定要留的，值得留，值得你们来看的这一部电影。
Yang's documentary is expected to be released by 2026. Kamashu and Sandichis for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. Finally today, we leave you with images of the world final of a doodle art competition held in Amsterdam. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.